Welcome to The Author Show, where we feature new authors and books, from fiction to self-help and everything in between. You'll find it all at theauthorshow.com. That's theauthorshow.com. And now let the show begin.
Hi, this is The Author Show, and I'm your host, Linda Thompson. In a world where part of the population has accepted different lifestyles, another part of the population will do anything to maintain strict traditional norms. Katya and Lexi are trying to find their way through this turmoil as a couple. That's just a teaser for Nightsticks and Negligees by first-time author Lucinda Mack. Lucinda is here to tell us more. Lucinda, welcome to The Author Show.
Thank you so much.
Lucinda, will you please give us a quick overview of Nightsticks and Negligees?
I'd be happy to. It's a thrilling murder mystery crime drama, which has dribbles and drabs of passion and poetry. It involves two women who, as they are trying to solve the crimes, find out about themselves, each other, and the world around them.
What gave you this idea for the storyline in Nightsticks and Negligees?
I had two friends in the past who were lesbians, and it was at a time when that was not an accepted lifestyle. They became depressed, disenchanted, and it ended in their suicides.
Oh, I don't like hearing that. So did you write Nightsticks and Negligees with any particular type of reader in mind?
I wanted to capture any reader who was interested in life and diversity.
Since this is your first novel, do you believe that there is another author who might have influenced your writing style?
I think my writing style is actually organic, and it comes to me out of the blue. I don't know how it happens or why it happens, but I'm happy that it does. I embrace it, accept it, and appreciate it.
Is Nightsticks and Negligees similar to anything else we may have read?
Not to my knowledge. I haven't seen anything like it anywhere else.
Have you written other books that have not been published?
Yes, I have written at least 50 other books. They dealt with the paranormal, murder mysteries, love stories, heterosexual, lesbian, and transgender love stories, and science fiction.
Are you ever going to publish all of those?
If I live long enough, yes. If not, I will try to publish the ones I think would be the best interpretation of my ideas.
So, are you working on another book now?
Yes, right now I'm in the middle of completing Nightsticks and Negligees 2, the sequel to my first book.
You have Katya and Lexi working together to solve a series of very brutal and bloody murders while trying to develop a relationship between them. Why did you choose to describe the murders in such graphic detail?
I wanted to set the landscape for the crimes. I wanted the readers to feel as if they were actually part of the scene of the crime and taking place in their mind's eye.
Are Katya and Lexi similar to real people, or are they pure imagination?
Lexi is similar to me in many ways. She's plodding, analytical. She's an average-looking woman, and she has a cerebral intensity and passion. Her polar opposite is Katya, and that is her superior, who is gorgeous, but she's anxiety-ridden, and she's a stone-cold hard-ass. So Katya is similar to a supervisor I had in my past life.
Well, let's hope your supervisor doesn't know you're writing about her. So will Lexi and Katya return to us in a series?
I hope so. I would like to see that happen very much. I think they're both intense characters, and I think that's a good possibility.
Tell me, because your book takes on aspects of police drama, do you have a background in law enforcement?
I do not, but I have friends who do, and I also spend all of my free time reading, writing, and thinking about crimes.
And what kind of research do you do to make your books realistic?
I do watch crime dramas. I do watch true identity shows, true crime shows, and I do speak with some of my friends who are or have been on the police force.
Lexi has never been attracted to a woman before. Was it a challenge to write about her thoughts and feelings as she progresses through the relationship?
Not at all. I sort of was able to put myself into her place. Only thing is, I am not a lesbian, so I took on the role. I kind of tried to slip her shoes on, and I tried to write this from the angle of a woman to a woman instead of a woman with a man. It was a challenge to a certain extent, but then once again, I am inspired organically, and it just kind of flows. Once I started the process, I couldn't turn it off and really didn't want to turn it off, and I went with it.
Have you always wanted to be a published author?
Actually, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and I've written skits, and I enjoy comedy. So I'm not really sure if I ever wanted to publish, but I decided to. It's on my bucket list, and so that's what I did.
Interesting. So have you done any comedy writing?
I have, but I only do my comedy routines in front of friends and family and people who won't throw tomatoes at me.
Well, so it sounds to me like there's a little bit of actress in you somewhere. Is that ever going to come out?
I hope so. I hope somebody finds out that I'm very, very dramatic and excitable, and they put me on television.
So tell me, Lucinda, what is the moral of the story in Nightsticks and Negligees that you've written for readers?
Well, actually, there are a couple things. Love is eternal. It cuts across all humanity. We can always redefine ourselves and make ourselves better. And also, I hope that the book allows readers to understand that there's hope for people to propel past their biases and to find interest and compassion in the world around them and the people who live in it.
That's an extremely good and poignant message. So will you please read a short excerpt from Nightsticks and Negligees for our listeners?
Sure. Erupting from the corners of my mind surged a primal scream that almost ripped me from one dimension to the next. My world was being changed forever. I just didn't know it yet. It was a dark and sinister day, with snow and sleet emptying from heavy clouds. A townhouse community loomed to my right. I drove past the icy sidewalks and inhaled the upper-class atmosphere to find the object of my search, the house where two people had been cut down. When it appeared, I swerved my car into its congested driveway. My heart felt a jab as my eyes surveyed the exterior of the home. Jetting towards the house, I zigzagged between the barbs of hail and swooped through the front door. The interior offered an odd welcome. Glancing around, I noticed enormous rooms decorated with a variety of modern furniture and paintings. A fellow officer greeted me and said, "Hey, Detective O'Leary, it's a bit of a belly churner. I hope you didn't eat a big breakfast." I shrugged, moved past him, and landed just outside the room of doom, death, and devastation. I took a quick look inside the landscape of the crime. My stomach tightened. Papers were scattered near one corner next to a wall. A lamp and table had been knocked over and sat lopsided just next to a hutch. I wondered about the circumstances. Was this done by some disgruntled friend or lover? Hosts of possible scenarios slipped into my brain as I unbuttoned my fleece-lined jacket. I put it on a large coat rack that sat near the front door. Drops of water formed puddles on the floor from trench coats and parkas that had been hung there earlier. As I took in the simple scene of liquid expanding towards the baseboards, I felt a spasm of disgust. This house had been violated by death. A feeling of sadness sank into me as I wondered who had committed the sin that resulted in such a tangled, twisted mess. I pushed myself through the river of other detectives to inspect each room. Everything seemed to take on a bizarre mask. Suddenly, my boss appeared, and I was jolted by her image. Her name was Katya, and she was like a flickering shaft of light comprised of a sinuous, sexy body.
Oh my gosh, that definitely had me on the edge of my seat. So where can we learn more about you, and where can we purchase Nightsticks and Negligees?
You can learn everything about me and all my radio interviews and where to purchase the book on my website, which is lucindamack.com.
We've been talking with Lucinda Mack, author of Nightsticks and Negligees. Lucinda, I've really enjoyed talking with you about your book. You've written a very poignant story of two people struggling for a relationship against the odds. Thank you for sharing Katya and Lexi's story with us, and I do hope you'll come back again when you release your next book.
Thank you very much.
New relationships can be challenging, particularly when those relationships are not what some people view as proper. And same-sex couples have been castigated by society for as long as we can remember. While society may be very slowly changing, Katya and Lexi are struggling to forge a bond when it seems that the world is against them. To learn more about these two determined women, please go to lucindamack.com and order your copy of Nightsticks and Negligees today. And please share this interview with your friends so that they too may become acquainted with our author. And remember that The Author Show may be accessed at any time at theauthorshow.com. Plus, selected interviews can also be found on major podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, and many more. Whether you're an author who would like to be featured or a reader in search of new books, theauthorshow.com is a really great place to start.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. Find out more about authors and their work at theauthorshow.com. Theauthorshow.com. Tune in next time to another great author on The Author Show.